Bitcoin, as of right now, is back in a bull market. In today's video, we're going to have a look at charts, baby. There's a lot of charts that I want to bring up, a lot of requests come in. We're going to get through it all in today's video. We're going to talk about Bitcoin rising above $23,000. Is my prediction of a low teens, 13, 10, right down, is that still to play out? Or is this mooning? Is this the start of a full blazed recovery? I will give you all the answers in today's video. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy, Hold, Sell. I hope, of course, yous are all well. As always, another week is over. It's hard to believe this week is a bit of a blur. I've had just so much stuff going on this week. Personal stuff, work stuff, and unfortunately I've had a funeral to attend. It's just been a mentally draining week. This is Saturday morning. The energy levels now are feeling good. I've put the week behind me, and as always, we're looking forward. Glad to be covering the channel. Thanks to everyone in the Discord and the YouTube, as always, for the support. I really feel loved from the family, and I appreciate everyone, and I really do mean that. Let's kick it off. Bitcoin rising 2.3% to $23,000. Now, this happened in the wee hours of the morning. Some of my alerts coming on here. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Sitting just shy of $23,000 right now. As you know on the channel, I am a Bitcoin bull, although I do fear that there is more downside to potentially come. Let's have a look at how this is performing. Okay, so if we pull this up, we can see massively overbought on the RSI, but MACD shows strength. Now, the good thing about this is, as you know, I do trade charts, and that's kind of more so just to have a rule, something that can't be interpreted or misconstrued. I just like what it says for me to do. I buy here, I sell here. These things happen, I move and sell. It just keeps me right. I'm a man that's very organized. I am a man that likes to delegate my time, and I'm a man that likes to have rules so I can stick to. That way it takes the emotion out. That way I can go, right, well, this happens, this is what I do. And every time it should give me probability of a better result than bad. We now are above 180 day, 20 day, 50 day moving average. And if I turn on the 200, which is what most people use to trade, I go a bit lower just to give me an exit point. We are bullish. We are back in a bull market run. We have confirmed that, and we have stayed above that. And today's rally really does intensify and say that we are now bullish. If we strip it down to the 4 hour, it's telling us the exact same scenario. So Bitcoin, as of right now, is back in a bull market, which is unbelievable. The last time we were in a bull market on the Bitcoin dream was back in December 21. It's been 1 year since we were in a bull run. We are back bullish on Bitcoin. Do I see more downside? I feel that the general market sentiment will be there, but as I said, we trade charts. Based on the charts, we are bullish, back on Bitcoin. Let the good times roll. Obviously watching it very, very carefully, and to be honest with you, I do have a sell at 23.5. I set that up a couple of weeks ago. I told you about it. Let's put it in my Discord, waiting just to take a bit of money off. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm happy to finally take a bit of money off at those levels. Google has announced that it's going to cut off 12,000 jobs now. The sort of top 10 market caps now in the US of A, then S&P, unfortunately have laid close to in and around 100,000 people have been laid off. Terrible news, and I do feel more of that to come. For example, closer to home, BBC News article yesterday, Lloyds and Halifax to close 40 more bank branches. That's 40 more bank branches. I actually watched the news this morning, and BBC had an interesting story that there's potentially going to be no physical bank stores by the year 2027. That's crazy that could be happening in such a short period of time. I always say about these things how it's the older generation that suffer. I believe myself, anyone around my age, most people use online banking. It won't really affect me. I do feel about the older people. I do feel about people that like to go in and have that physical interaction. And again, that physical interaction is something that you need. It is what it is. It's happening all across the world, and that fits in with the whole we're going to a cashless system and all that. I do foresee all that happening in the next decade, and that would be another step towards that. Fox Business News then reported over 1 million French workers strike against the effort to raise the retirement age. We've been covering about this, talking about how the money in the pot is going to get exacerbated. We've seen the pension age go from 60, 65, 67, and we can see here French President Emmanuel Macron intends to push the retirement age from 62 to 64 in an effort to keep the pension system financially viable. The government says that pushing back the retirement age by 2 years will add 17.7 billion euros in annual contributions, allowing the system to break even by the year 2027. You think you've got your riding off to the sunset at the age of 62, and then all of a sudden they go, nope, 64. That's 2 years effectively of pension contributions that you've been paying, you've signed up to it, you've done that, and they're going to go, nah, you don't get that anymore, sorry. It's not fair, it's not right. I fully support anyone that is protesting against this. It's always the same way. All this money gets handed out by the powers that be, but the powers that be never want to foot the bill when things go wrong. It's just not fair. It's just not right. And I stand by any French followers on the YouTube channel, but French trade unions, you know, they're right to be fighting this. But here, 62, 64, I'd take that. The current in the UK, we are 67, and I foresee that going up, which is it's just unbelievable. Another reason why you should set up alternative side hustles. Unfortunately, you have to put the graft in now to get the rewards down the line. Work. When you get a job, get self-employed, get side hustles, buy stuff, sell it on eBay. Just try to get other sources of multiple income. You need to take control of this. Paying in to a pension, working your 9 to 5, it's not going to be enough for the future. It's not going to be what you need to protect yourself, in my honest opinion. On the channel, I've been trying to think of a way to engage more with sort of the Discord and the YouTube. And yesterday evening, I asked, week ahead videos come out on Sunday, what charts would you like me to do? So I'm going to go down these charts and just have a run the eye over. So the first one on the list is IAG coming in from Burns. Been riding it for a while, looks totally ready to drop in my view, overbought, back interested in your view. There is a few IAGs. I'm trusting that he's probably talking about the international airlines. So he said there's a drop likely to come. So the airlines I think we covered the airlines about a month ago, and we could see that they were taking off. Here, what a ride on the IAG, one stock that I traded back when the pandemic started, thinking airlines would turn around, and it did work out to be pretty reasonably good, but that is one hell of a very good, from the lows to the highs. You are up 78%. That's phenomenal. That really is. And look at this, another familiar thing. We're back in a bull market on IAG. I don't see why this would stop, considering how strong the FTSE's been, and considering that we still have upside on the MACD. What I might do is turn on the Bollinger Bands here. Let's just see what it's also showing me, just as another indicator. Bollinger Bands always gives an indication of when you're overbought as well, and this is the area. I mean, to be fair, if I was in this trade, I would be taking profits at the very least. You can kind of see this area has been your kind of support level, resistance level, if you want to call it that, over the period. So I would be definitely taking some profits in and around the 165 area. If you're above the 200-day moving average, we haven't talked about that a lot. If you're above the 200-day moving average, that is a bullish sign. On the bull market, why would you sell? You can use the trading strategy to time your selling if you wish to do that. Another thing that we want to talk about is just the indices. How is it looking? Well, the indices on the day chart, as we've been covering, has not really changed. We can see that yesterday obviously was a green day, but we have become a sell. We've hit the line that I drew here, and we're starting to trend down, and these indicators here would say that we are on the decline down. While yesterday's little pop was good, I still see that us on the way back down. NASDAQ, we'll have a look at the NASDAQ 100. It became a buy symbol. I did say in the video last week that I've potentially seen upside up until sort of this line, and when we cross, we go down. I still foresee that potentially playing out. So again, our tech stocks, big ones that have been mostly beaten down, I don't see any reason for that run potentially ending this week. Again, big earnings coming up. Earnings season could enter one of its busiest weeks, with reports for some of the largest companies in the world. Expect earnings from Microsoft, J&J, Johnson & Johnson, Tesla, AT&T, Verizon, Boeing, IBM, Visa, MasterCard, amongst others. So we can see here the asset class is very, very changed over the last year. Wow, if you look at them year on year, there is a quite change. Really, the big hitters start rolling out on Tuesday. Big wise for me, obviously, is on Tesla. Tesla has had a really bumpy road at the moment, and we're going to look now at the Tesla charts, because that has been requested several times within the Discord. I'm absolutely delighted to see that we were able to get it back above this level. This was a key area of support. We fell below, but we kind of just fell below and just danced back in above it. Could we see a push on to this channel? I think at a bare minimum, we should hopefully. Again, it depends on earnings, so exit prior to the earnings. Probably, I need to have a think. I'll put it in my Discord. I still haven't properly sat down and really thought about how I'm going to play Tesla. Currently, I have a slight short position, mostly long. Would love it to rally, especially if we were to get up to in and around this 140 area. I'd be out of the woods, and I'd be closing out my leverage positions. So I'm treading very carefully, a lot of thinking to do. But in terms of the charts, Upside, don't see any reason for this to stop. I would not be surprised if we've seen a minimum of 140, but if you took this channel away, then you can look at this area here, and the other thing you want to consider is the volume. Volume, very, very low, which means when it fell quickly, which unfortunately we know all how that pain went, which also means it can gap up quickly. So I'd be looking at this going, yeah, chart-wise it looks good, but unfortunately those earnings come out on Wednesday. It could be a horror show, it could be very bullish. We know it could go very much either way, so I would tread carefully, and we'll talk further about that, I'm sure, as the days come on in the Discord. So Urtel Africa, this is one that, again, I have been in several times. How is the charts? I haven't looked at this, I haven't talked about this stock in a long time, actually. First off, below the 200-day moving average, we see RSI MACD's not looking particularly hot. But we can also see here that we have become a sell. So in terms of this stock, I wouldn't be opening it for a swing trade. And I appreciate my hair is wild looking. It's getting cut this week. It's went an extra week over than it should have. It's horrible. Looks like a helmet. But on the weekly chart, if you want to find a bit of positivity, weekly chart is showing us that, look, it's had its real sell off. Perhaps potential coming on the MACD, but I'll be waiting for confirmation on that. Moving back to what's coming up this week, on Thursday, the Bureau of Economic Analysis will release the advanced estimate for fourth quarter GDP, tracking whether the US economy expanded during the last 3 months of 2022. Economists projecting that the US economy grew 2.5% at a seasonally adjusted annual rate. December PCE prices, Personal Consumer Expenditures Price Index for December on Friday, providing the latest update on inflation. But in summary, a lower than expected reading could prompt Federal Reserve policymakers to decide on a smaller interest rate hike of 25 basis points at the upcoming FOMC meeting towards the end of the month. So we're 10 days away from that. So look, it's all going to happen. These next 2 weeks will really make or break what kind of run we're going to get. I just don't see it being any good news, but that would be a bullish thing if they were to go only to 25 basis points. We also have ABML, which I am in, but as you know, they've halted buying for us in the UK, unfortunately, so it has lost a lot of my focus. But everything that I previously said on the channel, when I sold, when I bought, it all stood. I'm not surprised to see ABML fall down. Wow, it was 0.37. Looks reasonably like a bit of a turn on the weekly chart. Day chart it's obviously rallied. We can see here now we're not bullish, not by a long stretch, but up about 20% since the buy symbol. Need to get above our 200-day moving average. This area is going to kick in as resistance again around that 0.6. If I was swing trading this, I would be looking to take some of my paper money off at 0.6 and trim. That is where I sold on the way down. When I sold here, I got a lot of hate. I can't remember when it was. It probably was about September time when we fell below. And then we got this rally because of the news that came out. And I think that was kind of probably where I last did my video. I am due one. I will get a video out soon. I'm still following the stock, but not as much as recently, just because it's such a long hold. And all of that, but yeah, we have fell down, no great surprise. Wouldn't be surprised though if we get rejected and we do see in and around that 0.35 in the near future. Tread carefully on the ABML. It is such a great stock, but such a long hold. IJR, I'm not sure if you're on about the Global Real Estate Income Fund. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe give me, I'm not going to comment on that, maybe give me more clarity on that. If it is this year, the IGR, Global Real Estate Income Fund, look, it's looking, yeah, it says it all. You've had to run, I'd exit now and get your money off the table and readjust. Anything to do with real estate I would be wary of anyway. So in summary, last week was fantastic, great week. Coral Minerals, we got a big pop, 95% at one stage, phenomenal week of gains. You know my situation, one of my biggest weighted portfolio stocks. Fantastic week of gains, and long may it continue. I do think it will continue. I've shared my video there on the thoughts on it. Fantastic, just fantastic week across the board. Yet to close out a losing trade, so it's let that run continue. If we go bullish, however, on the S&P, I will be closing out my short position. But until we get confirmation, I still think this is just a high and potential top-up area. I'll keep you all posted in the Discord. Thanks everyone for the support and all of that. Be wary. I do think there's a rug pull coming. I think this is just a bit of a decent positivity run, but enjoy it while it lasts. The charts don't lie. Bitcoin's in a bull run, and that is the positivity news. Check out my playlist here on lithium mining. I think lithium mining's got a huge future. 2030 plays, some great stuff. Premier African Minerals, Coral Minerals, both beating the markets, S&P markets by a landslide. Premier African Minerals and Total. Huge year ahead. Catch you in the next one. Peace.